Me, I think he attacks the middle of the field, those chunk plays from 15 to 25 yards.
And it looked like Shedeur Sanders has shut down the ESPYs, bro.
Same week, two completely different stages. Shedeur Sanders pulls up to the 2026 ESPYs in New York City, drips out, posing with Myles Garrett, and the whole internet loses its mind. And while that's going viral, Coach Rees hops on a Browns podcast and does something Browns media almost never does. He puts on the film. And what he says about Shedeur's game is not a compliment. It's a scouting report on an elite weapon. By the end of this video, you're going to see why one skill might hand Shedeur the QB1 job. Let's get into it. So let's start in New York. Tuesday night, 2026 ESPYs, and Shedeur Sanders made it his business to show up and show out. He posted it straight to his Instagram, New York, New York, with the ESPYs logo in the caption, standing in the middle of Manhattan with the signature wrist up. Then the story post started rolling. Young Dolph playing in the background, camera flashes everywhere, and Shedeur stopping to take pictures with every fan who asked. The man was not hiding, he was headlining. Now here's the part that makes this week so wild. While Shedeur is owning a red carpet, Coach Rees goes on a Browns podcast and quietly drops the most detailed praise any coach has publicly given this kid. Not vibes, not he's got the it factor, actual football. Rees broke down route concepts, field zones, and progression reads like he was installing a game plan, and the thing he kept coming back to was one specific strength that Browns media refuses to talk about. But before we get to the film, understand the scale of this ESPYs night. This wasn't just a walk-in, walk-out appearance. YM Bug was rolling cameras with him through the city. There was an Apple Music stop with a full photo shoot, and word is a Matt Crosby podcast sit-down is already in the can. Shedeur was on a full media run through New York, and the footage shows fans posted up outside every location waiting for him. That's not fifth-round pick treatment. That's franchise face treatment. And the receipts back it up on the field too, because here's the stat Coach Rees is really pointing at, whether he says the number out loud or not. Shedeur Sanders averaged 11 yards per attempt when targeting in-breaking routes this past season. That ranked second among qualifying quarterbacks in the entire NFL. The only guy ahead of him was Jared Goff at 11.5, a rookie thrown into the fire mid-season, finishing second in the league on the hardest throws in football. So hold both of those pictures in your head at the same time. The kid in the middle of Broadway with the wrist out, and the fans lined up down the block, and the quarterback his own coach describes like a 10-year veteran between the hashes, because that combination, the star power plus the substance, is exactly what has certain people in Cleveland media so uncomfortable. It's a lot easier to push a narrative about a guy when there's no film to check. It gets real hard when the coach brings the film himself. Now watch how Shedeur arrived in New York.
Now, as you guys can see right here, we're right on Shedeur Instagram account. And yeah, man, he posted this moments ago. New York, New York, baby. XB with the 2 logo in the caption, bro. Now, this is him. This is outfit that he wore. He holding his signature wrist up in the middle of New York right now, getting it in. Now, he did share an Instagram story of him at the ESPYs, and actually he's still dropping. He got the young Dolph playing old ways, and he even took time to take some pictures with some fans, which is lit in itself, bruh. Legendary in itself. Now we do got some interactions with Shedeur Sanders and Myles Garrett, courtesy of YM Bug.
Quick question. When was the last time you saw a coach get this specific about a young quarterback's game? Listen to what Rees actually said. Coach Rees didn't hedge. He said Shedeur attacks the middle of the field, and then he listed exactly how. Chunk plays in the 15 to 25-yard range, play action high-lows on the dig routes, the under routes, the bang 8 routes outside. He talked about how Shedeur transfers his weight from the backside to the front side and rips it on the first progression when he trusts what he sees. That is a coach describing a quarterback's superpower in coaching language on the record on a Browns platform. And think about who he's describing. The same guy who 2 nights ago was standing on 65th and Broadway in designer everything, wrists shining, cameras following him block to block. Even at the ESPYs, he was talking business, telling people that a lot of folks have ideas about growing brands, but only a few actually know how to execute. That's the exact same mentality Rees sees on the field. Everybody has ideas about attacking a defense. Very few can execute it between the hashes. Because here's why this specific skill matters so much, and Rees spelled it out. In today's NFL, outside corners are elite athletes, and those boundary routes get locked down. The easy throws outside the numbers are easy for a reason. The money is in the middle of the field, and that's the scariest real estate in football. You're threading the ball between linebackers dropping into zones with a safety closing downhill. Rees said that that's what Todd Monken's whole offense is built on, going back to his Ravens days and all the way back to Georgia. Monken hunts the middle of the field, and his coach just said Shedeur does that at a very, very high level. Read that back. The system and the quarterback's best trait are the same thing. Now flip back to New York one more time, because there's a detail people are sleeping on. Myles Garrett was there, the face of the Browns defense, the most feared player on the roster, sharing an ESPYs moment with the second-year quarterback, and the clip went viral instantly. When the franchise's superstar is publicly rocking with you at a national award show, that tells you something about how this locker room actually sees Shedeur, no matter what the radio guys scream on Monday morning. Fans mobbed him, cameras swarmed, and somewhere in Cleveland, a talk show host felt a cold chill and didn't know why. And that's really the frustrating part about the local coverage. Rees basically had to walk onto their own platform and teach a football class, because apparently knowing the offense your team runs is optional if your job is covering the Cleveland Browns. He explained the anticipation, the accuracy, the willingness to let it rip on the first read. Guys who get paid to talk about this team every single day have never once mentioned any of it. The coach did their homework for them, and the homework says the quarterback they keep doubting has an elite, scheme-perfect weapon. Now here's the full Rees breakdown, word for word. Listen to how specific this is.
I think he attacks the middle of the field, those chunk plays from 15 to 25 yards. I think he throws the ball extremely well vertically, but more importantly, between the hashes, in that 15 to 25 yard range, which is so important in the NFL. Off play action, the high lows on the digs, the under routes, the bang 8 routes on the outside, just the ability to throw the ball, especially on that first progression, when he's seeing what he's seeing and he can transfer his weight from the backside to the front side. I think he throws the dig route, the curl routes inside. I think that's what he does very well, which is so important in the NFL, especially in this Todd Monken offense, which is trying to find space. And a lot of times in the NFL, these corners are locked down. These corners are elite athletes, so you got to be able to work the middle of the field. That's what I think, since he's gotten here, he's done a great job of. If you talk about in this offense, if you go back to what Monken has done with the Ravens, going back to what he did in Georgia, Monken loves to attack the middle of the field, and that's what Shedeur does at a very, very high level. He anticipates very well, he's very accurate, and he works in that 15 to 25 yard range, which is so important in the NFL.
That's not a hot take. That's a film evaluation. And the tape has been screaming this since his very first NFL snap. Go back to Shedeur's first regular season NFL game. Not his 8th start, not some cherry-picked garbage time drive. His first game. He drops back, pressure comes home, and he fires the ball over 2 linebackers with a safety closing to hit Harold Fannin Jr. in the intermediate window while getting hammered on the release. Rookie quarterbacks are not supposed to even attempt that throw. Shedeur attempted it, completed it, and took the hit like it was nothing. The aggression Rees is praising now was there from snap 1. And honestly, that fearlessness is the through line of this whole week. The same wiring that lets him stand in against a blitz and rip a frozen rope over the middle is the same wiring that lets a second-year player walk through New York like he owns it, taking fan photos on every corner while YM Bug films the whole thing. Pressure just does not register the same way for this dude, on the field or off it. Now let's put real numbers on Rees's praise, because the accuracy data is stupid. Shedeur hit 79.3% accuracy on throws to the middle third of the field, that deep zone between the hashes where he found Fannin, where he found Cedric Tillman, where he found Jerry Jeudy. He was at 71.6% to the left side. Stack him against his own draft class and it holds up. On middle on-target percentage, Shedeur and Jackson Dart sit at 82%, with Cam Ward at 85%. On intermediate on-target percentage, Dart leads at 74, Shedeur's right behind at 70, Ward at 67. A 5th-round pick trading blows with 2 first-rounders on the hardest throws in the sport. Meanwhile, at that Apple Music stop in New York, they were shooting content on him all day, and there's reportedly a wave of Shedeur footage about to drop from this media run. The league's marketing machine doesn't build a run like that around a backup. They build it around a guy they expect to be the story of the season. And the story on the field keeps getting better, because the camp tape shows him sharpening this exact weapon. There's a rep where a linebacker is muddying the throwing window. The corner is glued to Cedric Tillman's outside hip, and a safety is driving down. Shedeur throws it anyway, over an extended arm, between multiple defenders, ball placement on the money. There's another rep where he's getting blitzed hard and still generates full velocity on a quick release over the middle to send Isaiah Bond off to the races. And the off-platform numbers kill the weak arm narrative for good. He stays in the mid-70s on short and intermediate accuracy, even when he's throwing on the move with a changed arm angle, which is exactly the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson-style survival skill this modern league demands. The kid isn't just accurate from a clean pocket. He's accurate from chaos. Watch this camp rep, because it's nasty.
But something here, and I want to show you two things here, right? I want to show you him hitting Cedric Tillman. Geez, you talk about fearlessness, man. You talk about stressing those balls out there. Wow, that. Oh wow, oh no.
Hey yo.
Wrong thing. I want to show you something, right? I want to watch as this linebacker, right? This linebacker starts muddying up this window. Look at this corner on this outside hip of Cedric Tillman. He has another safety here coming into it. So this is not a fun throw that you want to be able to make. But Shedeur looks at it over the extended arm, over a linebacker, in between multiple defenders, outstretched hands, and see where that ball is placed, man. That's giving you a haircut, boy. That's chopping people's froze off, dog. That's a frozen rope over the top of over the middle of the field that he was shown that he was able.
I'll say it straight up. This one skill is going to decide the Browns quarterback battle. Here's why. Even the positive voices in Cleveland media are framing this thing in two stages. Over on Big Play Cleveland, the take was that Deshaun Watson probably wins the quarterback battle and starts week 1, but Shedeur Sanders wins the quarterback war and takes the job around week 5 or 6. Anyone can win a battle. Not everyone can win a war. And the reason people believe Shedeur wins the war is exactly the trait Rees keeps praising. In a Monken offense built on attacking the middle of the field, the quarterback who does that at the highest level eventually plays is math. And moments like the ESPYs matter in that war more than people want to admit. National spotlight, cameras everywhere, Myles Garrett next to him, millions of eyes, and Shedeur looked completely at home. You cannot fake comfort at that scale. The guy treats a red carpet the same way he treats a collapsing pocket, calm, deliberate, and fully aware everyone is watching. But let's be real about the stakes, because this is where it gets serious. If Shedeur wants to be the guy in Cleveland, it can't be close. He has to make it undeniable. He's got to beat out a 9-year veteran with 230 million reasons for the organization to want him on the field, a guy coming back from those Achilles injuries determined to save his job. And if Shedeur leaves any doubt, you already know the whispers start about the front office eyeing the Arch Manning sweepstakes down the road. That's the war he's fighting. Week 1 through week 17, no let-up. Which is why this New York media run reads different when you zoom out. The Crosby podcast taping, the Apple Music shoot, the fan mobs outside every building, even his own crew getting fly right alongside him with Travis Hunter reportedly in the mix. That's a player building an empire while competing for a starting job and doing both without blinking. Most 24-year-olds pick one lane. Shedeur is running both at full speed and posting the receipts in real time. And nobody should pretend the on-field picture is perfect, because it isn't, and Shedeur himself would tell you that. The camp tape has drops from his receivers, it has a nasty pick or two, and his rookie numbers came with growing pains. But that's exactly why Rees's praise carries weight. He's not selling a fairy tale. He's identifying the one repeatable, elite, scheme-proof strength that everything else can be built on top of. Quarterbacks with a true calling card survive rough patches. Quarterbacks without one disappear. So put the whole picture together. His own coach goes public with a detailed film breakdown calling his middle-of-the-field attack elite. The numbers say second in the NFL on in-breaking routes as a rookie. The camp tape shows him drilling that exact strength every single day. The offense he plays in is literally designed around the thing he does best, and the face of the franchise defense is throwing it up with him at the ESPYs on national TV. Every arrow, on the field and off it, is pointing the same direction. Now watch this moment with Myles Garrett, because this is the clip that broke the internet.
Facts. Him and Myles Garrett, here it is.
Sorry. Nobody in this bitch. It'll get better. Prove it. Yeah. Put your hands together, Matt Richards, everybody. Big round of applause for me. Round of applause for folks. It is time. All right? It is time. This is the life. There it is. Done. Yeah, let's ball together, nigga. Stand tall together.
One more thing before you go, because the recap here is honestly ridiculous. Let's run it back. In 1 week, Shedeur Sanders shut down the 2026 ESPYs in New York, went viral with Myles Garrett, knocked out an Apple Music shoot, taped a podcast, and took photos with every fan who waited outside. The man moved through Manhattan like a headliner, not a backup. And in that same week, Coach Rees sat down and delivered the most specific public praise of Shedeur's young career. He attacks the middle of the field. He rips the 15 to 25-yard chunk plays. He throws the digs, the unders, the bang eights with anticipation and accuracy, exactly the way Todd Monken's offense demands. The numbers say Rees is right. 11 yards per attempt on in-breaking routes, second in the entire league behind only Jared Goff. 79% accuracy to the middle third. On-target rates hanging right with Jackson Dart and Cam Ward, the first-rounders, on the toughest throws in football. And the tape backs the numbers, from the Fannin Dart in his first NFL game to the Tillman lasers all over camp. And through all of it, the fearlessness never changes. It's the same trait whether he's standing on 65th and Broadway with a crowd pressing in, or standing in a collapsing pocket with a safety bearing down on Harold Fannin's route. Coach called it the ability to throw with anticipation into tight windows. I call it the reason this kid never looks rattled anywhere, ever. So while certain Browns media personalities keep recycling the same tired narratives without ever opening the film, the coach, the stats, the camp footage, and the biggest star on the roster are all telling you the same story. The strength is real, the moment is real, and the war for QB1 is officially on. Here's where I leave it with you. Coach Rees just told the world that Shedeur Sanders' middle-of-the-field attack is elite, and it happens to be the exact foundation of the offense Cleveland runs. The ESPY showed you the star power. The film shows you the substance. The only question left is timing. So I need you in the comments right now. Do you think Deshaun Watson holds him off and wins the battle week 1, or does Shedeur Sanders win the war and take this job for good? Watson or Shedeur? Drop your answer below, because I read every single comment, and this debate is about to get spicy. And if you're rocking with the breakdowns, the stats, and the actual film work instead of lazy talk show narratives, you know exactly what to do. Smash like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.